In several ways, those who've given 20 or more years of their life to education. And some of these have been in public education and in colleges, universities, have come here, become part of our educational program. And there are not enough words to say thank you for years of making far too little income and much too much sacrifice. And after 20 plus years doing it, you're running out of time to make up the difference between what you should have been receiving and what you can still receive. And so you're kind of settling into the fact that your senior years are going to be about as bleak financially as your working years. But your spirit, your work ethic, your devotion, your faith, your love, your commitment, your integrity, those things are priceless. If we were to somehow find a salary commensurate with the dedicatory skills you have and with the enthusiasm in which you entered and the commitment with which you stayed and the faithfulness in which you've displayed and the difference that you have made, I don't think we have enough money in our coffers to make up what you should have been receiving. We've given you a little pittance of a compensation only because we do not want to overly burden the people who pay for the tuition. I struggle every single day of my life. I think you may have the other microphone on still. I struggle every day of my life with the fact that we have hundreds of families here that cannot afford to put your children in our school system. And I think we have the lowest tuition of anybody around. I think we've got a whistle and a ring here, so we could fix that, please. Get a little feedback and a hiss. And, my heart as a pastor says, let's give it to them for free. And then I got to find a way to pay you then. So I can't give the education free. If I put it up high enough to give you the salaries and benefits you deserve, we wouldn't have enough students to be able to attend. And so it's a real catch-22, finding riding that balance there. The efforts of what Dr. Bennett is doing could make a huge difference in the years to come. And somehow, some way, I'd like to think that God in his wisdom can allow churches and public leaders to find a way that the educational goal is reached without the compromises that worry a lot of people. We don't have to manipulate one another to be able to sustain and support one another. You can work well with your neighbors without moving into their house or they're moving into your house. You can get along with each other. It's possible for this church to get along. Dr. Meeks has a huge church just 10 minutes from here, and we get along very well. And the churches in Hammond, we get along very well with them. And I've got a church that's 3 minutes from my house. They come into Hammond, and they've got a church going on today, just 3 blocks down the road. How dare them? That's because we got a church 3 blocks from them. We're on the same turf. We're working together. And when I meet him, he doesn't look at me and say, what do you think you're doing? He says, there's people I can't reach that you can, and people you can't reach that I can. I say, hey, go for it. And there's got to be a way to find a wise and prudent position where I can take care of those who are just as dedicated, equally important, equally skilled, just as committed, equally focused as any other educator in the public sector. But they're getting compensated at a rate that I'm embarrassed to even compare yours with them. So today is a way that our church, we're not going to give you a big check today. I'm sorry, there'd be a lot more fun to say, skip the plaques, give me a check. That's not coming. And I don't mean this in any kind of superficial way, but you will be properly compensated at the judgment seat. When you meet your Savior, he will thank you in a way that will erase whatever difficulty and angst you had to suffer because of working 2 jobs or 3 jobs or longer hours than you should have, or living on less sleep, hurting your health. I appreciate you all so very much. I feel like you're my hands and fingers and arms, you're my legs, you're my extension of my vision and my goal. I have so many dreams for our kids. You've made some of the dreams come true. Thank you for making the music program possible, for allowing us to teach Latin and Greek and Hebrew to our kids, for realize we're going to expand that greatly, for the ideas that we're implementing to truly make a huge practical difference in their lives. And then just the basic core things you've been teaching through the years. Thank you, thank you. most of all, thanks for the example you set for them. Thank you for standing up before a classroom of boys and girls or young adults. And all I have to say is just do what they do and become what they are, and you're going to be a success. And that's really what education is. Let's role model for the kids. And you've done that beautifully. I'm so proud of you. We do want to bring you up here, and we want to give you a nice plaque, and I have the men helping me with that. If you fellows would take your positions, please. And you teachers and folk, these are full-time teachers we have and part-time. They've all had 20 years or more at Hammond Baptist School, City Baptist School, and or Hiles Anderson College. And a few of them have been in all three places and have helped us with the birth of the other ones. And so if you would come right now and receive your handshake and your plaque, I'd appreciate it.
Serving Hammond Baptist Grade School for 32 years, Nancy Auclair. Serving Hiles Anderson College for 21 years, Mike Borsch. Serving Hammond Baptist Grade School for 20 years, Sherry Breed.
I just wanted to show you what they're receiving. I don't know if you can get a shot of that. It has a picture of the teacher. It has a brief bio right here alongside, and then a family picture of them, and also a classroom shot of them. And these are being given to them personally. They have this. And also, there's a wall of educators, and I want you to see it. I'll say more about it in a minute. But right outside, on the main floor here, there's a 25-foot wall where all this information is being displayed out there. And I want our church to always keep in mind these people are educating our children, and I appreciate it. Sherry, God bless you.
Serving Hiles Anderson College for 29 years, Danny Clubb. Serving Hammond Baptist Grade School for 27 years, Sandy Conley. Serving Hiles Anderson College for 34 years, Frida Cowling. Likewise, serving Hiles Anderson College for 34 years, Pete Cowling. Serving Hiles Anderson College for 31 years, Mario Quotso. Serving Hammond Baptist High School for 21 years, Tina Douglas. Serving Hiles Anderson College for 24 years, Dave Douglas. Serving Hiles Anderson College for 23 years, Mike Fish. For 27 years at Hiles Anderson College, Rena Fish. Serving Hiles Anderson College for 26 years, Linda Flesher. Serving Hiles Anderson College 21 years, Cynthia Francis. Serving Hiles Anderson College for 32 years, Belinda Gaona. Serving Hiles Anderson College for 34 years, Chris Grafton. Serving Hammond Baptist Grade School for 35 years, Jeannie Hackett. From Hiles Anderson College, 33 years, Joe Hackett. Serving at Hiles Anderson, 28 years, Tim Harrell. From City Baptist Schools for 33 years, Pam Hibbard. For Hiles Anderson College, 28 years, Ray Highfield. Serving Hiles Anderson College for 26 years, Bob Hooker. Serving Hiles Anderson for 33 years, Eddie Lapina. Serving Hammond Baptist High School for 29 years, Sharon Lewis. Serving Hiles-Anderson College for 39 years, Joan Lindish. Serving Hammond Baptist High School for 39 years, Gail Murhowski. Serving Hammond Baptist Junior High for 28 years, Barbara Mock. From Hiles-Anderson College for 36 years, JoJo Moffitt. From City Baptist Schools for 20 years, Garrett Mosley. Hammond Baptist High School for 23 years, Patty Mosley. From Hammond Baptist High School for 27 years, Jeannie Nelson. Hiles-Anderson College, 35 years, Jerry Asuardi. From Hiles-Anderson College for 32 years, Terry Pfeiffer. Hammond Baptist Grade School for 21 years, Chandra Pfeiffer. From Hiles-Anderson College, 27 years, Philip Pins. From Hiles-Anderson College for 28 years, Diane Robinson. Serving at Hiles-Anderson College for 28 years, Cindy Skopp. Serving at Hammond Baptist Grade School and Hiles-Anderson College for 27 years, Terry Shiplin. Serving Hiles-Anderson College, 24 years, Vicki Siebenauer. Serving Hiles-Anderson College, 21 years, Rick Sparks. Serving Hiles-Anderson College for 39 years, Larry Staub. From Hammond Baptist High School, 28 years, Jan Vogel. Serving Hiles-Anderson College for 36 years, Tom Vogel. Serving at Hiles-Anderson College for 25 years, Judy Wapner. And serving at City Baptist Schools for 20 years, Denise Williams.
We're going to get a picture of these in just a moment. My photographer up there. John, you ready? Okay. Dr. Bennett, could I ask a favor? You mind getting your picture taken with me down here? We'll go down right in the front next to Dr. Cowling right there. Give us just a minute. Hang on here. Pretty amazing to have this quality of people. I know a lot of you would love to put your children in schools where these folk teach, and I wish so much you could have the influence of these folk on your children's lives. You know, we have homeschoolers here. I believe in homeschooling. We have public school educated children here. That's awesome. We have school children in our schools. I think I need all the help I can with my children. I did. I looked at these people, and Cindy and I saw it and thought, wow, why would we not want their help pulling on the same rope with us? And we've had them for all the years that our children are at home, and How pleased. Now, we have a lot of other folk that you work for our ministry or you work in our schools. And if you work full-time or part-time, but under 20 years, you're equally important and you're making a huge contribution. We wanted to draw the line somewhere today. We marked it at 20 years. I understand right away somebody's thinking, wow, I'm just 6 months from that and I missed out. Don't feel that way, please. You're very important to us. But if you do work in our schools, in any of our schools, City Baptist here in Hammond, Hammond Baptist there in Sherrville, or Howells-Anderson College, or perhaps you taught in one of our international schools, you might be back here, and I don't even know that right now. But if you taught or do teach, and you've been there for under 20 years, would you stand right now, please? All of you. Staff, faculty, if you're employed in our ministries, remain standing, remain standing. Give them a big hand. Don't sit down yet. Don't sit down yet. Wow. No wonder I feel the pinch of the budget here. Don't sit down yet. Awesome people. You're making a difference. And with education, you don't see the difference necessarily the next day. You have to have the commitment and the patience to see the difference. Maybe, if you're lucky, a decade, but more than likely 2, maybe 3 decades later, you see the impact you're making. And so the boys and girls that are, or the young adults in college that are in your ministry right now, or in your classroom right now, or that you're cleaning the hallways for them, or you're working on the buses for them, or you're preparing the meals for them, however it is that you see them, they might say thank you. Possibly. That'd be a wonderful thing, wouldn't it? And they might show you some little change in an attitude or a spirit or a behavior. And even if they learn the lesson that you're trying to teach them in math or science or what have you, you really don't see the impact that you personally are making on them for decades later when they've become an adult and they have begun to shape their world, whether it's the world of their home or the world of their unique society in which they live. And then you're much older. And so thank you for your patience. I worked in construction for a while. One thing I enjoyed about it is you could build a house in about 3 months. And you could take an empty field, pour a foundation, dig a well, put in a septic system, and then people could be moving in 4 months later, and you think, wow, I finished that. And you could build a building, even like this, took about 14 months. And there's a lot of satisfaction in that. When you're building a life, it takes decades. Thank you for your patience. And sometimes it gets a little discouraging, but I want to thank you for that. While you're still standing, I wonder, other educators here today, maybe members of our church, maybe not. If you're here today as an educator, perhaps you're a member and teacher in public school, you're very loved and very appreciated. And sometimes I know you don't always feel that way, and I apologize. But if you're an educator in any capacity, in the classroom or in a support staff role, but you have not stood yet, would you stand right now, please? And other educators who are here, thank you. Good, 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 good. Other educators, thank you. Good. Who else? Good. Thank you. Good. I like this. Excellent, excellent. Give all of them a giant hand, would you please? Just sit down yet. You can stay standing. It's all right. You can do a little better than that, can't you? There you go. Well, from a grateful church and a grateful pastor, thank you very much. Wherever you find yourself in education, in whatever capacity, and some of you, I know that you graduated this year from high school, you're thinking about getting into the education business, and that's a very noble work. I'm proud of each of you. I thank God for each of you, and I'm so happy to get to pastor you. And I hope we always get to work together at this wonderful job of shaping the character and the lives of these precious young people God has placed in our hands. Let's recommit ourselves today to making that difference that Dr. Bennett was talking about. Let's not just think of what we could do or even believe we could do it. Let's show the belief in the way we handle ourselves in the classroom, in the streets, in common, ordinary walks of life. Let's show this world there's a group of people dedicated and committed to making a difference in the next generation. God bless you. You may be seated. I appreciate that very, very, very much.